Here recently I was up in Colorado, and I was standing up on a mountain, and I was watching an old mother eagle as she brought her little ones from the nest and on her wings and set them down in a grassy pasture. And then she flew back up to the top, very peak of the highest rock she could get to, and she sat down. She began to watch. Well, I was watching through my binoculars. My horse was hitched to a tree, and I was watching. And I said, Lord, I like this. And it seemed to me that I said, it smells, if you was ever around an eagle's nest. And they make it out of sharp sticks and things, and them poor little eagles were just walking on those sticks and thorns. They never knowed nothing else. But one day the mother spread forth her wings, and they stepped on the wings and went out. Now I looked at those little fellows, and they were just having a Pentecostal revival. They were just running around on that soft grass, just picking here and chirping to one another and jumping over each other, just as free as they could be. I thought, well, that's right. Now there is like a man in the old nest of the world, knows nothing but that what the devil can give him. But one day God picks him up and sets him down in the shady green pastures. Oh, how he rejoices. He's free. There's nothing, no harm. I thought, well, why ain't those little fellows afraid? Wonder if they realize there's coyotes around that would pick them up. But every once in a while they would look up, and the old mother was sitting up there watching them. I thought, well, praise be to God. That's right. He taken me out of the nest of the world, and he climbed the ramparts of glory, sitting on high, watching over his heritage, to see that no harm comes. I thought if a coyote would start towards one of those little eagles, she'd flog him to death. I thought, that's right. Let Satan take after a believer, and he's got Jesus Christ on his hands. That's right. Let him take. After a while, she was watching her great, majestic head looking around. She was on the highest rock that she could find, because she could see everywhere. Her sharp eagle eyes watching. And after a while, I seen her raise her head through my 10-power binoculars. I seen her raise her head and look around. She was whipping the air, and I thought, what is it? Way back in the north, a northerner started. The thunder roared. She let out a scream, and down through there she went, throwed forth those big wings right out on that grassy prairie. And every one of those little eagles ran over real quick. They were instructed perhaps before leaving the nest. They caught their little feet right in the feathers, threw their little mouth down, little bill hooked it around the feather, and she raised with that bunch of eagles on her wings and went just as straight, piercing that wind blowing nearly 50 miles an hour, then right into the cleft of the rock.
Hello, Ben Woodruff here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you what I consider to be the second worst lie or tall tale about eagles. You can watch my video on the worst. This is the second worst. I don't know why this gets spread around. Now, I'm an eagle trainer, a falconer, a wildlife educator. I've worked with eagles for a long time, and I can tell you this is not true. And I think this is supposed to be an allegory to encourage motherhood and encourage helping your children take chances. So how it goes is that eagles, those baby eagles, a mom comes and feeds them, and they're these tiny little eaglets. Now, in the mind of the storyteller, these eaglets are probably like this big, but covered with full wings, okay? Full feathers, just miniature versions of adults. And they say, the mother, when it's time to teach the young how to fly, she flies down to the nest. She lands, she puts her wing down, and meh, calls. And the babies climb up on her wing, and they climb up on her back, and they hold on, and she takes off, and she circles up and flies in the sky. And then when she gets up thousands of feet in the air, she just dumps them off. Blah! And they go flying, falling out of the sky. Ah! And then she dives down and boom, 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 catches them on her back before they hit the ground. And she does this every day so that each day they get the sensation of the wings underneath their feathers. And then they learn, oh, okay. And so it's a way, step by step, to help them gain the ability to be able to fly. Now, all of this story is ridiculous, shameful, stupid, and not worthy of being passed on. Here's how it actually works. First of all, you have to understand, An eagle's nest is not their home. They don't live there, okay? Where do they live? The world. They have their home range, and they have rocks and cliffs and territory they'll defend. Where do they sleep? Wherever they want to, okay? A nest is a crib, not a home. It's a place for a baby to sleep. Now, most birds cannot smell, so mammals can. The longer babies are in the nest, the more they have made a scent in the nest that might attract a bobcat or a raccoon or something that might climb into the nest, harm the babies. So, in the case of an eagle, their body is full grown, like about a month and a half after they hatch, maybe 2 months tops. So, meaning their skeleton, their body, their feathers are still growing in. So they're a giant, as big as an adult, white fluffy thing, okay? And then the feathers start to grow in. The first feathers to start growing in the fastest are the primary and secondary wing feathers and the tail feathers. Everything else is starting to grow in, but the body puts all the energy. Why? Number one, if a bobcat climbs into the nest, the baby, which can't fly yet, can at least jump out and glide to the ground where mom and dad can continue to feed it, okay? So, but also, because as a survival strategy, those babies, again, are making so much scent in that nest that the sooner they can be out, the better. So long before they can fly, they leave the nest and they hop around the cliff face. They hop and they learn to fly a foot, 2 feet, 3 feet, 5 feet, 10 feet, 30 feet on their own. Mom and dad don't encourage them at all. And in this process, now at night, they come back to the nest and they sleep in it. But every day, they go further and further, walking, running on the cliff face, learning how to fly, learning how to glide. It's a process that's instinctual, and they teach themselves. So every time somebody shares this story with me, and they're like, oh, and the baby eagles crawl up on the wings, I'm like, you do realize they're as big as the adult. So picture a full-sized eagle with up to three babies as big as her, crawling up on her and like, all right, Mom, take us out for flying lessons. It's like, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous, and it shows no knowledge of their biology or their habits. It's a fun allegory that people give for people. But if you're going to share this stupid, ridiculous story, please say beforehand, it's not true. It's merely an allegory to share a moral or an idea or a concept, and let it be that. Don't pass this on because it's not true. All right, that is the second worst lie or story or allegory about eagles. I've already shared the worst, and now the third video I'll share is going to be the third worst eagle story.